So I'm wondering how it feels often that like there's new language around parenting and it's more about skills as opposed to like discipline. So if my child is dysregulated and they do something that's disrespectful, what is the benefit of using these cards as opposed to like a traditional go to your room or take a timeout for 5 minutes?
I love this question. So these cards, so you're talking right now about a child has a feeling and then does a behavior. And punishing or disciplining the behavior versus navigating the feeling that had prior to the behavior. My years of experience and passion and decades of reading research is 100% clear. We as parents are the guides for emotional regulation and exploration and emotional intelligence. That is where behavior stems from. So if your child has a feeling, and when your child has a feeling and then explodes and does something they later regret, I am of the camp that discipline and punishment, and it's not my camp. This is what the research is saying in your brain, your child's brain. Discipline, punishment, and lectures are only going to switch your child's brain back into the amygdala, go back even further into their animalistic reactions, and shut off their frontal lobe. So, whatever you're saying or whatever you're teaching is lost on them because they're now offline, right? So that doesn't mean that you should allow your child to lose it and throw things and hit people and bite and kick. No. But what I'm saying and what conscious care cards is teaching is that it is all about skill. It's about tolerating feelings, navigating feelings, knowing what to do with feelings when they get big and loud and unexpected. And how do we create our child's self identity as a capable, emotionally intelligent child so that they then are going to make choices, have skills to slow down so they no longer kick, hit, throw things, or bite because they did that once. And they had a regulated parent who sat with them after their brain went, fight or flight, did the thing. They got somehow, they peaked and then they came down. Now you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with your child. You're pulling a I see you card and you're saying, wow, I saw so many feelings in that experience. I think I saw the first feeling was sad. Then I saw disappointed. Then I saw rage. Let's talk about all of those. Let's draw about all of those. Let's have me share how I feel when those feelings come through me and what I do so that I don't go to work and throw things and kick and bite, but in a way that you're teaching a skill and you're not shaming or shutting down or, you know, teaching them that feeling was wrong. You're teaching them, yes, we do behaviors that are wrong, but we literally will never do those behaviors again if we feel safe enough to really seep into that guilt, to really seep into that regret. Like, wow, I just bit my friend's finger and I was pissed and I hated them and I just wanted them away from me. And the minute that feeling came, it also went. And now I don't have anybody to sit with at lunch. And I don't feel good about what I just did. Now, if you take that too soon and punish, you're separating them from their own integrated self. And that separation, now you're detaching them from their ability to empathize with themselves. So punishment, I'm not saying that there isn't a time and a place for cause and effect. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if you take a moment when the time is right, when they're regulated again, and use a skill, it's going to happen less and less and less and less. And the more safe your relationship is for them to talk about how it really was for them, you're teaching them to stay integrated so that they feel safe. They've not been exiled to a room by themselves with zero skill, right? And shamed. What do they just feel terrible. They don't know why. They don't know. They don't have a guide, right? Instead, you're pulling a card and you're saying, you know what? I saw that there might be a skill deficit there that I actually also had when I was 7. And nobody really taught me, but I'm going to try and teach you. And I think it'll make you be a better friend. And maybe when your friend makes you so mad, you're going to somehow slow down enough to stop yourself from biting. But it's actually okay to be mad. Like, we can do mad. We just can't do biting. So let's slow it down. But you know what? Your child isn't going to slow it down if you shame them, separate, and exile them in a punishment way. We know the research is strong on that. We want to keep them in their frontal lobe so they can learn the skill. And then when they do learn that skill, and you see that they got mad, but they didn't act out, that's the magic moment. That's the time where you loop back and say, which skill did you use out of the whole deck? Which skill? I saw you just calm yourself down. That's amazing. It's not going to be the first time, but I promise you, if you move towards skill as a skill teaching as opposed to punishment, it's going to happen sooner than if you're doing punishment, separation, and shame.